You can now create the entire farmyard. Dogs, cows, a garden gnome, even this delectable chicken. You name it, you can create whatever cursed images you want to with the power of Stable Diffusion. It's similar to things like DALLE, but operates a little bit differently under the hood. My story started a few months ago when I needed to gather hundreds, maybe even thousands of pictures of different types of food and meals. Now, I don't have the budget to hire a photographer to take these pictures, and I certainly don't have the skill or time to make them myself. Now, around the time, DALL-E 2 and ChatGPT were absolutely blowing up, and they seem like they might be able to help. And it turns out they can, and very well in fact. In a relatively short amount of time, I've been able to set up a simple script to generate hundreds of different images per hour. And over the last few weeks, I've generated thousands of images. Food is exciting, but pictures of food are not so much. Unless, of course, you're a millennial in the mid-2010s on Instagram. Is that even a thing now? I don't even know, I'm a bit of a boomer. Anyway, you know what is more exciting though? And yeah, that's right, you've guessed it, a meme machine. And I'm going to show you how you can create your own at home. When I first tried this, I did have quite a few issues. Firstly, I tried using my MacBook with an M1 Pro in it, and I was able to generate images, but it took well over 10 minutes for a single image, and it was with quite a low resolution too. Instead, I tried running it on my desktop that had a dedicated GTX 1660 in it, but it turns out the 1660 series of cards aren't even supported with the hardware, so they can actually run this. But I only realised that after about 10 minutes of messing about with the bloody configuration, so pay attention and don't be a moron like me. I'd like to say I got it because I'm an absolute sick gamer who's going to be headshotting your dad on COD later, but in reality, I just wanted to get those sweet, sweet images. So I got this sexy new laptop with an RTX 3080 in it. And if anyone wants a review, maybe drop a comment. Perhaps I'll do one at some point. Now, from my current understanding, any RTX card should be able to do this. But ideally, you want to have enough VRAM to run 8 instances of Crysis on recommended settings, which is about 16 gigabytes to you and me. As long as you've got the hardware, though, it's actually fairly easy to set up. Like most things created by scientists in the tech world, you interact with the AI model using Python. Now, I'm personally a filthy little web developer, and the last time I took a ride on a Python was back at university. So I needed to set up a couple of things to get that working. It seems that you can do this without Anaconda, but using Anaconda was by far the quickest way I found to get the dependencies set up. The way I described to a JS developer is that it's like NPM for Python. Once you've got Anaconda installed, and if you're on Windows and don't have Git Bash, make sure to go and install that. Once you've got Anaconda and Git installed, we need to download the Stable Diffusion repo. This isn't a necessary requirement either, but I found it way easier to piggyback off the list of dependencies configured here, rather than setting it up yourself. Now open up Anaconda, clone the repo with git clone using the SSH URL or the HTTPS URL on the GitHub repo. Once that's downloaded, cd into the Stable Diffusion directory and run conda env create-f environment.yaml. This might take a while to install, but once that's done, run conda activate ldm to activate the environment. You can follow the readme to run the example script that comes with the repo, but I found it way easier to write a simple script using the diffusers library from Huggingface. The library is pretty useful because it will download and configure the models for you, and if you have a big list of images to generate, you'll be able to do it a lot quicker than having to use the example script built into the repo. The latest version of diffusers didn't actually work for me when I last tried this, so in this example, I'm installing a specific 0.12.1 version. You also need to install Accelerate. Once these are installed, create a new prompts.txt file within the root of the repo and a new meme-machine.py file. You can also call this whatever you want though. Copy the contents of the meme-machine file from GitHub. You can find the link in the description and paste it into your own file. After the main Python file has been set up, add prompts for the images you want to generate in the prompts.txt file. Make sure though that each prompt is on a separate new line. If you want to change the amount of images generated, change the number of images per prompt variable at the top of the Python file. Now to get generating, all you need to do is run python meme-machine.py or whatever you called your Python file within the terminal, and it should start spitting out some images for you. All of the generated images are then put in the generated images folder that's in the root of the Stable Diffusion repo. I wanted to see how this would handle the most popular memes of all time, so I jumped onto knowyourmeme.com, and by using the console, wrote a line of code to grab all of the meme titles on the page at once, and then pasted them into the prompts.txt file. Keep in mind I only do 25 iterations of each image and only a single variation, but with a little bit more time and effort you could create some truly hideous images. But for now, I'd like to leave you with this montage.